All right, this is Dan Meehan for Fight News Australia, and today's guest is Rod Costa, who's quickly becoming Eternal MMA's Mr. Reliable, this time stepping in on short notice once again on June 5th against Justin Van Heerden at Eternal MMA 60. Rod, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me, Dan. Good,
No worries
very
at all.
good.
Thanks for stopping by. So I read that you moved to Australia from Brazil in 2005. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to Australia?
Yeah, I actually moved around a lot. My dad works for a mining company, or used to. We moved a little bit inside Brazil, and then in 2005 he got a job offer here in Perth, and we all moved. Me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. Yeah, 2005. I did 11 and 12.
Right. And
Yeah.
how did you find your way into jiu-jitsu? According to your website, you actually started training here in Australia, not back in Brazil.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I always liked fighting and stuff. My dad was a fan of, um, movies and fighting, Hicks and Grace, that. So I think it's like a very common story, I actually remember watching that Hicks and Gracie documentary, Choke, with my dad. My dad started training for a little bit in Brazil, but um, like just a little bit because he's too busy with work. And then when I was thinking about starting, I think we moved here, and then took me 5 years to start from when I moved here. But yeah, I always just knew about it. I had some friends that used to train. Yeah, like I said, my dad trained for a couple of months. And it was just, I think I didn't start earlier just by being a lazy teenager, I wanted to do it, but didn't want to, I don't know, put the effort and time into it. So, yeah, when I was 21, I went in with a friend and we started together. Yeah. Very common story.
It is, yeah, it's definitely common.
Yeah.
So this fight, upcoming fight with Van Heerden, will be your fifth since returning to MMA in just this last October. You had a
Yeah.
5-year layoff prior to that. Where did you go for 5 years, and what brought you back to the
Yeah.
sport?
Um, I've always just concentrated in jiu-jitsu, my whole, since I started training. Um, and actually, I think what got me not training MMA, but like I dabbled a little bit with MMA with Jack Becker. We started together back in like around 2010, and I remember just putting a glove once because Jack was a little bit more focused in MMA, and I did more jiu-jitsu. And I remember we put the gloves once, and I went in there to try, and he just belt the shit out of me. So but yeah, anyway, 2015, my dad moved to the US. I went with him over there. But my eyes was always set in jiu-jitsu. So because of the move, I went with him to the US, doing some jiu-jitsu competitions. And then late 2016, I decided to move to Brazil, So I moved to Brazil to train with Felipe Pena, my coach. I started training with him in 2014 when my sister got married in Brazil. So I went 2014, 2015, 2016. I did my training camp for Worlds in there, and then end of 2016, I decided to move back to Brazil. So I have family there, so I stay with my family and just train full time. So that's why I like no MMA. I was just focusing on jiu-jitsu. I competed a lot of jiu-jitsu. Got my black belt over there, and then moved back here. Yeah, but I never left the competition scene, but I just wasn't doing MMA.
Right. And are you sort of looking to kick off a run at MMA, or is this sort of something that you do more to supplement your jiu-jitsu training?
Um, I don't know. It's an interesting question because um, I'm gonna, as long as I feel like fighting, that's why I'm fighting. I'm not fighting because anyone's pressuring me or whatever. So I just like fighting, and at the moment it's fun for me. I'm training with a lot of good people at Scrappy. I train with all my students here. So to me, it's fun, and I love the competition. I really love the competition. As much as I get really nervous before I compete, I just miss that feeling all the time. So I'm gonna keep going until I don't want to do it anymore, or until I feel like, because I'm 32, I'm not as young as some of these guys I'm fighting, but I feel the best I've ever felt. So until I feel this way, and I feel like I can go out there and test myself, I'll keep fighting,
Is
But the
there an,
goal
is there
now
a,
is to keep fighting and try to fight the toughest guys I can, So I fought Khan. a few weeks ago, I'm gonna fight Van Heerden. If I beat him, I want someone better than him, and then if I beat that guy, someone better, and then yeah, just keep trying to find the best competition out there.
Right, and as you mentioned there, your last fight was only a few weeks ago at Eternal
Yeah.
59 against Khan Offley. Although you didn't get the decision, I thought there was some that thought that you probably did enough to win. How do you reflect on the fight looking back?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't like to talk about decisions, you know. One thing I know for sure is a close fight, you know. Like my friends are gonna say I won. His friends probably gonna say he won. I'll give you that though. I think between me and him, he knows I won that fight. That's all I'm gonna say. Between me and him, man to man, I think he knows I won that fight.
Yeah. All right. And as mentioned, you're stepping in on short notice to fight Justin Van Heerden, replacing Jack Jenkins, who's out due to COVID restrictions here in Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not the first time you're stepping into a co-main event on short notice. Is this? Do you enjoy stepping in on short notice? Do you think there's any advantage to it?
Not really. Look, man, the first time I did it, it was a little bit of a weird situation. I was on 2 days' notice. I remember just talking to Ben, my coach, you know, saying, "Oh, fuck, it's cool to be a gangster like that and save the day," you know. And then not even he didn't even offer me anything, and then that happened, and then he offered me that fight. I took it. But that fight, I felt really nervous. You know, I remember I went with a friend of mine, my boxing coach AJ, and I was warming up and like I was very unfit for that fight. I wasn't fit at all, so I got nervous. I couldn't even warm up because I was scared of just gassing myself in backstage, you know. But for this fight, I'm not unfit. I'm fit. I'm ready to go. I just hadn't been training for a fight camp. But because it's so close to the Khan fight, you know, which I was in great shape, I don't feel like I missed anything. So this is not something that it's out of the blue and I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll jump in to save the day. Yeah, so I feel good. I'm ready to go. It is a big task. I think he's a grappler as well. So I think it'll be a good fight for the people. And to be honest, because of the last fight, I just want to get in there and try to get back in the win column and fight for the title. You know, like I respect Jack and everything, but that's the goal, right? Whoever the champ is, you should be trying to fight that dude. So yeah.
Absolutely. And you sort of alluded to you both being grappling specialists, but how do you feel you match up with Justin Van Heerden?
I don't know. Like that's the interesting thing about MMA. You never know until you step in there, you know, obviously. But I think it'll be interesting. He's gonna give me some problems, right? He's a long dude. He's a good grappler. I don't know what belt he is, but he's a good grappler. Seems to have good striking, so it will be interesting. I think I'm comfortable standing, so I don't feel the need to go and try and take him down. I think he might try and take me down as well. So I don't know. I think there's many ways this fight can play out. You know, I think grappling wise, I'm better than him, but it's not a grappling match. You know, if we went to do jiu-jitsu, whatever rule set, whatever comp, I don't think he'll ever beat me. But MMA is different, you know. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. And so now we're only 8 days out from fight night, and now you suddenly have a fight to get ready for. So what does the next 8 days look like for you?
Just losing the weight. To be honest, I'm not too heavy. I don't have to struggle at all to get to featherweight. You know, it's very easy for me. I just basically train normal, and then maybe 10 days out, I start worrying a little bit more about my food, and then you do the water loading and stuff. For this fight, just because I haven't been training for a fight, my weight was a little bit higher. You know, even though I'm fit, my weight's a little bit higher. So I think I just have to concentrate a little bit more on losing the weight. Whatever skill I have is whatever I'm going to bring to the cage. You know, you're not going to gain anything 8 days out, you know. So just sharp all the tools, do a few drills here and there. Try to be sharp on all the practices that are left, you know, and go in there with the best way possible. Yeah, but concentrate a little bit more on the weight, a little bit on technique, and try to be as fit as possible and make the weight as easy as possible. for the fight.
And you're obviously running the Costa Academy today. You can see the strategically placed sign over your shoulder there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so, what is when did you open the gym, and how do you sort of balance life running the academy and training yourself?
So we open. It's actually going to be about a year. June 6th is going to be 1 year, right? So we opened just after the Perth, allowed us to open things back for COVID. And it's been great, man. It's been great. I thought it'd be a lot harder running a gym and competing and training full time. But I have a lot of people that help me a lot, like a lot of people. I'm not going to say names because I'm going to forget some people, but I have guys that teach for me whenever I need to, so I can train a little bit more. I just brought on a coach now to teach all the fundamentals for me. So the load's a little bit less. I was teaching a lot of classes before. I was teaching all of the classes. I got about 4 a day. So it was a lot back a few days back. But yeah, I just really have a lot of people that help me out a lot with everything, with the start of running the business. I have my dad's my business partner as well. So he helps me with a lot of the things on the background of the business, So he's actually, I wish I could tell you it's a struggle and I'm going through it, but it's pretty easy, man. It's good. And I have like my students here that can help me train, It's funny because it's a year of the gym now. So a lot of the guys that started with me in the beginning, they're already getting to a point where they're becoming good training partners, and I can use them to actually help me get ready for the fight, because the level's a little bit better every time. Everyone's training really hard. So it's been great. Yeah, it's been great having a gym and fighting.
Awesome. All right, Rod, before I let you go, do you have any sponsors or anyone that you'd like to shout out? I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank the boys from Scrappy, my coach Ben, all the guys that helped me out. I have John Champion is my PT guy. The Rev, the guys at a gym around the corner that always works with me and Jack as well. Greg from Rising Street Dental, Street X, and all my training partners. Yeah, Jack Becker for all the help. All the boys and training partners. That's it.
Perfect. Well, Rod, thank you so much for stopping by, and all the best at Eternal 60.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.